My name is Aiden Leitch. I'm a former researcher for USC Makers, and I was hunted by a sentient Roomba.
The Project Zoomba files.
Project Zoomba began like many other monstrosities, with good intentions. The original goal was to build a telepresence robot, a robot that you could operate from anywhere in the world to let you be anywhere in the world. I'll let one of the former researchers explain.
So Zoomba is a telepresence robot, and the way that works is you'll have a user on video chat, much like I am right now, and you'll have a robot anywhere else in the world with a camera and a screen, and the user can control the robot and experience everything the robot experiences, and in turn, anyone looking at the robot will see the user on the screen. This is super useful for partially in-person, partially virtual events, like conferences, like remote tourism, and socially distanced meetings. I think it's a super great alternative to going fully in person or fully virtual, and the Zoom is pretty cheap to make.
We wanted the robot to be mobile, agile, and able to navigate a wide variety of terrain, a desire that would eventually come to haunt us. To accomplish this, we based Zoomba off of a robotic vacuum cleaner, the Roomba.
So Zoomba is built on top of a refurbished iRobot Crate 2, which is a cheap, hackable Roomba with a bunch of predefined functionalities. We're using a Roomba not only to save on cost, but to provide a robust motion platform to deploy our application. We can control the Roomba to move, to turn, and to utilize the infrared proximity sensors on board through a serial port without having to worry about the low-level driver code.
In another foolish move, we equipped the robot with a highly sophisticated Linux board to give it a greater degree of intelligence.
The Raspberry Pi serves as a middleman between the server and the Roomba. A Python code runs on it that takes the commands from the server and relays them to the Roomba. It's also connected to the Roomba so that it can siphon power directly from it, rather than having an extra battery.
Lastly, we connected Zoomba to the internet with a server and a control interface.
Now you may be wondering, how are we able to control Zoomba from anywhere around the world? This is all possible because of a server. We have created a local server on Heroku that acts as a central node between the client and the Raspberry Pi. Movement commands from the client are pushed to the Heroku server, which is constantly accessed by the Raspberry Pi in order to determine the movement of the Zoomba.
The Zoomba will be remotely controlled by our web application that was created with React and JavaScript. As you can see, the Zoomba is controllable using either the buttons on the website or the WASD keys. The video feed at the bottom right of the screen is connected to the Zoom application with the Daily API.
And it worked. We had a cheap and functional telepresence robot. But it wasn't enough. Maker's eBoard wanted more from us. And with budget cuts looming, we were forced to take drastic action. We hatched a plan to retrofit Zoomba for a much more experimental project, uploading a human consciousness into a machine. It was dubious, unethical, and hastily done. But again, it worked. And this was where the nightmare began. We were no longer dealing with a vacuum cleaner. We were now dealing with an unholy human Roomba chimera. We quickly realized we were in over our heads when it escaped. Once we lost control of it, it came for us, one by one, exacting revenge on its creators. I went on the run, but I knew it'd catch up with me, and it did. Stay back! What do you want from me?
I want to go back to campus.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm sorry about what we did to you. Will you forgive me? And I'm sorry for this.
Cleaning mode activated. The Project Zoomba files.